All right, going long NASDAQ. Entered on a 30-second order block. Originally, I had a 1-minute inversion fair value gap, but I missed the entry, so I dropped down to 30 seconds, see if there was a order block or a fair value gap that I could potentially enter on. So my eye is drawn to a 15-minute high. You see it there where it says buy side liquidity. That's where I set my original partial. Actually, originally I had set 2 to come off at that 15-minute high, and then my last runner, if you want to call it that, at the bottom of a 1-hour fair value gap. But when I eventually looked at the range, and it was like 300 points above my entry, and I was just like, okay, like that's kind of excessive. So I mean, not to say I couldn't reach there, but I just like, yeah, let's just be more realistic, Michael. So I have 2 set. Eventually I changed it to 1, and then I decided to take the second partial. I still have that 1 limit order at the hourly high, but I take it off eventually. So I have a partial at that 15-minute high and a partial at the consequent encroachment of a old first presented fair value gap. Right here I'm annotating a 5-minute bullish suspension block that I want price to respect. Right now we're trading inside the new day opening gap, so I'm looking for price to close above the new day opening gap high. This trade towards the beginning of the trade was nice and smooth. Towards the end it got a little wonky. Last couple of weeks that I've traded, Asia has been nice and smooth, low resistance, high liquidity, and it was that most of this trade. Just towards the end it got a little wonky for me, and there's a couple of things that I'll explain later in the video that I could have done better. Sorry if I'm a little congested. Woke up congested and kind of stuffy all day today. Alright, so we get displacement above that end dog high. I want to see us to continue to push. I adjust my stop just below the 5-minute suspension block and that 30-second order block. So I'm looking at, on the 5-minute, a newly formed 5-minute order block, and there's also a small little fair value gap there, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is this order block that I'll draw in a second. Alright, at this point in the trade I go no risk. Risk is removed. So at this point in the trade, I kind of don't like how we're losing a little bit of juice here, a little bit of momentum. So being that I'm already, my risk is removed, there's a couple of things I could do here. I could take a partial, which is what I probably should have done, or go risk off, which I already am, or maybe move my next partial a little closer, which is what I did. I moved it to the bottom of that for that old first presented fair value gap. This is where I need to get better at. I need to get a little bit better at partials, and you know, if if it's not giving me what I want, I just have to take something off. And right here, I'm starting to feel a little anxiety. I just don't want us to go below that new day opening gap high. So I'm just contemplating, like, maybe I should just take something off here. And that's what I do. I take one off, adjust my stop, and at least like I made money if price moves against me. So I'm happy with that. I did the right thing there. I could have done it a little sooner, but it's okay. I'll get better at that as I gain more experience. All right, so I'm marking out a second. Oh no, that is actually the first order block there. So right here, I want price to stay above the mean threshold of that order block. And there, that's actually a nice signature. We reach down below the mean threshold of that order block, and we fail to reach the 5-minute suspension block, which is really nice. And then we start aggressively moving up. Back above the 5-minute order block, and a new day opening gap high. Here would have been another nice place to take a partial, maybe above those two intermediate, those relative equal highs to the left there on the 32nd. I could have taken a partial there as well, but I was fine. I was calm. I had already just taken a partial, so that alleviated the nerves that I was feeling before. And now I'm just going to let this trade play out. See if we can reach that next partial target. So I adjust my stop up just a little bit below the wick that failed to reach that 5-minute suspension block. On the 5-minute, everything looks really nice. Looks like we're forming a second order block. And on the 32nd, there is a inversion fair value gap that I want price to respect. And we wicked into it, failed to close in it at all, and we're continuing to push higher. And we get that energetic push. I love that. Move my stop up, adjust it. And now I'm looking to see if we can reach that 15-minute high. On the 32nd, I'm looking at the fair value gap that formed after that energetic candle, and I want to see us stay in the upper half and refuse to go on the bottom half of it. And here's another, I could have been a little bit more aggressive with my stop placement here. Again, I was calm. I wasn't feeling anything. I was content with whatever the outcome of the trade was, but I could have locked in a little bit more. Maybe move it to, I had it at the mean threshold of, just below the mean threshold of that 5-minute order block, but I could have moved it up just a little bit more, especially after this push that we get here. There's some 5-minute highs to the left that price is taking out, so I should have been more mindful of that, but it's okay. And right here, right, so this is where I get worried. On a 30-second to the right here, there's two bullish fair value gaps that are stacked right on top of each other. I like that. But then we get this large displacement candle that closes both of them. And I don't want to see that. So to me, that's a warning sign that not that I may not reach my target, but see, yeah, you see that displacement down. We're reaching that 5-minute order block, and I want price to stay above it, and also the mean threshold. But eventually, we push through all that and stop me out. But it's those moments when I see something like that, like I want to be able to either quickly move my stop up or just close a trade or take a partial. But I'll get better at that as I gain more experience. So, good trade.